everybody, my name is Calamites3639. Welcome back to another video. Today, in this one, it's going to be another Why It Got Banned video, and in today's video, it's going to be why True King of all Calamities is banned. Now, this card is actually one of Yu-Gi-Oh's most recent bans as of time of recording this, being banned in the March of 2021 ban list. So in this video, we'll be covering the history of True King of all Calamities, when it got released, its history, or as in what decks it got used in, the deck that eventually got True King of all Calamities banned, and then the combo that went along with that deck. And then I will be covering why it got banned, the reason why it got banned, and then if it should come off the ban list in any way, shape, or form. So without further ado though, let's get straight into the video. But before we can cover the history, we must cover the effect of True King of all Calamities. So it's a dark worm monster that has 3,000 attack and 3,000 defense, requires 2 level 9s to go into, at least 2 level 9s. You can do more level 9s if you want to, but it needs at least 2 level 9s to get the card out. And the effect reads as follows. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, declare one attribute. This turn, all face-up monsters on the field become that attribute. Also, all monsters in your opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack. So that is its first effect, and then its second effect is monsters that True Draco and True King monsters in your hand would destroy with their effects can be chosen from your opponent's field. I know the wording's a little weird with that. So if a True Draco or True King monster would destroy a monster for their effects, you can actually choose one of your opponent's monsters to destroy instead. So that's basically what its second effect it's basically reading. Now, both effects are pretty ridiculous. The second effect only goes for the True Kings and the True Dracos. Mainly, its first effect, however, is the reason why this card got played, basically just preventing your opponent from playing the game. And I'll get into why that is the case in just a little bit. But without further ado, let's get into the history of True King of all Calamities. So, starting with the history, it releases on May 5th, 2017 as support for True King and True Draco, and it gets used in those decks as well, not as much as you think it would, but it does get somewhat used, but it's more used in a True King Yang Zing Dino deck, which ends up actually winning the World Championship in 2017. That's August 13th, 2017 there. Ends up winning the World Championship with True King of all Calamities being in that deck. And it was, so that's already a good start to the card, already winning a world championship is something not to laugh at and stuff like that. So when the September 18th, 2017 ban list came around, did True King of all Calamities end up getting banned? No, it ended up not. What the card they actually ended up banning out of the deck was they ended up banning True King Yugioh, which was at 3 at the time, was very easy to pull out within the Dino archetype. Ended up being easier to go into Calamities with that card as well, because it ended up being a level 9, and that ended up getting banned because of its effect to basically just rip I think 3 monsters from your extra deck, from your opponent's extra deck, is pretty ridiculous, and then going to Calamities after that. So they ended up banning True King Yugioh for that reason. They also banned Dang Long, the first of the Yang Zing. Now, that deserves its own video, so I won't go into why that card got banned. Let's just say it was able to search a Solemn Judgment for the archetype and why it got banned. And then they ended up limiting Miscellaneousaurus as well from that deck. So yeah, that was the history there. It gets released in 2017, wins the World Championship in 2017, and then the deck it won the World Championship with ended up getting really hit, but not Calamities itself. Continuing with the True King of all Calamities history here, so after the 2017 ban list, it gets used in a nerf True King Dino deck. The deck still sees somewhat play, but it's, nerfed to all hell because it doesn't have Yugioh, it doesn't have the Yang Zing monsters to go with it anymore, and Miscellaneousaurus is also limited. Also sees plays in Blue Eyes decks as well, but those are more like rogue. It never became a tier 1 deck after 2017 until, well, we'll get into that in just one second. So everyone knows at this point it's a good card, but it was hard to pull out. That's why Calamities avoid the ban list for a little bit, because everyone knows it's good, its effect is ridiculous, but at the time, it was very hard to pull out. 2 level 9s were very hard to pull out anyway, so getting that 2 level 9s and then going into a rank 9 was very hard to do so at that time. It gets the nickname Very Fun Dragon, aka VFD, which I might be using for the rest of the video as well, because VFD just is a shorter term for it. A lot of people call it by that name, and for ironic reasons, because playing against this card, you kind of want to just kill yourself, because you can't play whatsoever. But it avoids multiple ban lists for basically 2 years after that point. Everyone knows it's a good card, but it ends up just missing multiple ban lists just because of how hard it was to pull out at the... That's until 2020 finally came around. Now, in January 20th, 2020, True King Lithium actually came back to 1, which actually started doing this True King Draco, or True King Dino stuff again, with Lithium going back to 1, Dinos eventually getting Miscellaneousaurus back as well, then getting Archosaur later in the year, ended up seeing that deck seeing a little bit more play again at that point, but it still wasn't good enough for Calamities to, validate a ban. Until November 11th, 2020. Virtual Worlds get released in Phantom Rage. Why is this significant? Because Virtual World ended up actually making level 9s fairly easy, like super easy. And then Calamities being a top of that was now really consistent. Once a level 9 or a deck that can consistently get level 9s out, Calamities started becoming a tier 1 deck. Virtual Worlds all of a sudden became a tier 1 deck thanks to Calamities. It actually ended up being like double Calamities and stuff like that. Now, it actually avoided the December 15th ban list because Konami at the time was more focused on banning the Crystron Link Ross combo, Dragon Link, and Infernoble Knights. At the time, they were more focused on banning those cards than they were on banning Calamities. So after that, the format was just dominated by Virtual World. There was some contenders, sure, with Outleach and Drytron specifically being the other 2 decks that were competing with Virtual World, but it just seemed like Virtual World was the top deck in the entire format until March 15th, 2021, when VFD eventually got banned because of that reason. Now we're going to be covering the combos with a Virtual World. I didn't do the combos with the True King Yang Zing Dino stuff because of the fact it's not the reason why Calamities got banned. It's the reason why, Day Long and stuff got banned, but it's not the reason why True King of all Calamities got banned. I'm doing Virtual World because that's the reason why Calamities got banned. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into those combos, shall we? So this is the deck I'm going to be using for the combo portion of the video. It controls, very typical Virtual World stuff, 3 of basically everything except for Nyan and Tutu and stuff like that. Now, this is very interesting because the deck I'm currently using in this was actually later on in Virtual World's life as a tier 1 deck, because Tutu and Xiao Wu did not come out until basically the end of January, when this deck was still dominating, and then it just ended up getting more support, which ended up just being more crazier. So yeah, so Tutu and Xiao Wan ended up coming later in this cycle for Virtual World, but it still ended up being a super duper fucking stupid combo. Pot of Desires was very typical, Fool's Berry Gold to get the Queen Long into Graveyard. Very importantly, double VFD is in the extra deck because, well, the deck can do it and stuff like that. So yeah, let's now get into the combos. Now on to the combo portion of the video. So this is a typical hand you'll see in the Virtual World deck here. So without further ado, let's get into the combos here. Now it's going to be a very interesting start on what I want to do here. We have a Wielder, which is very interesting. We'll start off with Emergency Teleport. We'll get ourselves a... Where is it? Where the hell is it? Nyan. Here we are. We'll summon the Nyan here. Go ahead and then activate Gigi's effect. We'll target the Nyan. We'll send Queen Long to Graveyard here to kind of set up future combos here. And then summon himself. Then we'll do Queen Long's effect, banishing himself, getting a Lulu to hand. Yeah, I said that correctly. And then we'll discard Tutu here because we don't really need it. And then we'll do Lulu's effect, target, the Nyan. We'll actually send Zheng Wu here. And then we'll add Kuao Long to hand here, because that is Lulu's effect. Activate Kuao Long's effect to activate Chuche from the deck here. And then here we'll go Lulu and Nyan to go into Coral Dragon, and then Coral Dragon and Gigi to go into a Croc Dragon here. We'll go Croc Dragon Chainlink 1, Coral Dragon Chainlink 2 to get ourselves a draw 2 here. That is not as good as I want it to be. We'll go ahead and do a Pot of Desires here, and hopefully we'll get a good Banish 10 here, and get a good draw 2 here. Draw 1, draw 2. We get a Gamma. We do get a Lulu, I guess. It's not the worst thing in the world. We can still probably do the VFD play here. Let me just think real quick. Do Lulu. Summon Lulu. That gets... Man. Really sucks that Wielder is a tuner here. Actually, yeah. We'll declare the effect of Lily here. We'll target the Chuche. Then we'll we'll send Kuala Long to grave here. Move to the fucking zone. And then here we haven't even normal summoned yet. So we'll normal summon out the Lulu, and then we'll trigger Nanian in the graveyard here to summon himself off his own effect. And then we'll use Nanian and Lily's effect here. Nanian gets banished, Lily gets sent, and we'll summon a Shen, and then Nanian's effect in the banished area lets us add 1 back to deck. We'll add, oh wow, we have all 3 Qing Longs banished. Yeah, we'll add a Qing Long back to the extra deck, which was stupid about Nanian's effect. You can actually return one of your face down banished ones, so that was actually ridiculous. Overlay, go into a VFD here. This is where we get this here. And then here we'll summon the Wielder. Okay, I see what we do. So we'll declare VFD's effect, detach Shen, usually called light because around the time every deck played light and Nibiru was also a light as well. And then here we'll go ahead and then do Zhang Wu's effect, banishing himself. We'll summon out the Lily back from deck here, or from graveyard, and then discard a Foolish Burial of Goods. And then here we can go Lulu and Lily here to go into a Cloud Castle, and then Cloud Castle effects summon back the Shen, and then we'll go into another overlay, and then we will go into another VFD. We'll actually summon this to the extra monster zone. So yeah, that's actually basically pretty much its whole combo here. Basically set up double VFD, set up a Chuche, and you're kind of good. Honestly, very, very impossible to stop this board here. Now, trackers on the field, they really don't, you really need, or not tracker, wielders on the field, didn't really need it. The really combo here is getting double VFD, getting your Chuche set up and stuff like that. This was kind of why this was ridiculous. True King of all Calamities was basically not a once per turn, and this is why double VFD became a thing. So now we'll get into why the card got banned. So why did True King of all Calamities end up getting banned? It's because it prevented your opponent from playing with their monsters, basically. So yeah, if True King's effect is you detach 1, declare 1 attribute, and then your opponent cannot activate monsters with that attribute in their possession. So basically how it worked was, basically since the whole meta was basically light monsters, you would detach True King of all Calamities, declare light, and then they ended up not only have to, because its effect says you can't activate the monster's effect with the same attribute, basically, not only did it prevent monster's effect activating on field, if it ended up being a light monster in hand, you cannot activate that effect in hand either, which is absolutely ridiculous. It not only went for hand, not only went for field, it also went for hand. So basically, if you called the right attribute against the right deck, they basically cannot play their deck. And it also was very hard to negate True King of all Calamities. 2 reasons. 1, double VFD, so if you ended up negating 1 True King of all Calamities, they'll have the second one because VFD for some reason was not a once per turn to it. So there's that. And the second reason is because Chuche was basically ridiculous for the deck. Basically, Chuche prevented any negations, basically stopping True King of all Calamities. If you try to infinite impermanence, for example, Chuche can actually chain so if you detach True King of all Calamities, and then they respond with infinite impermanence, you can Chuche destroy the Calamities that activate the effect, and basically Calamity's effect would still go through because infinite impermanence needs the monster to stay on field for its effects to get negated. And that basically went for a lot of negation effects. Forbidden Droplet, for example, needed to send, or well, that's just infinite impermanence. Now let's get into something like Dark Ruler No More. Why wouldn't that stop True King of all Calamities? One, they would activate it either during the standby phase, basically preventing Dark Ruler from negating it, or if they did wait until main 1, which they had a good reason to at the time, they can basically, so if you activate Dark Ruler No More, they can chain Chuche to Dark Ruler No More, because Dark Ruler No More's effect read, monster effects cannot be responded to Dark Ruler No More. Chuche would respond to Dark Ruler No More, and then Calamities would respond to Chuche, meaning they would still end up getting Calamities to effect to go through, basically. So that's another thing. If you try to do Forbidden Droplet, you would need to send a monster and trap to make sure Calamities ended up not getting negated, to make sure Calamities got negated. My bad, I'm all over the place here. But even then, the only deck that had played monster and traps was Outledge, and they didn't even want to play Forbidden Droplet because Outledge actually had a good matchup against Calamities, because if they had Calamities, they'll just set 5, pass turn back to the Virtual World player. Outledge was a very good counter deck to VFD at the time. So ended up, Outledge, the only deck that ended up playing monsters and traps, ended up not playing Forbidden Droplet anyways because they really didn't need to. So basically that's why Calamities got banned, because it prevented your opponent from playing, and Chuche basically made any negations makes any negations not go through, because, well, Chuche would make sure Calamities left the field with the effect still going through. I'm not saying there was still hand traps that didn't stop him. Gamma, for instance, was a hand trap that was able to stop Calamities even with Chuche on the field. That's really the reason why True King of all Calamities actually stopped getting used in the standby phase, and they waited for the opponent to basically commit to their main phase and commit to a normal summon, so it would not stop Gamma. Calamities would not be stopped by a Gamma effect. Same thing with Drytron as well. Orange Light was able to stop True King of all Calamities as well, but just because there's 2 negation effect that could stop Calamities doesn't mean it was ridiculous, because basically every other negation, Chuche would say, VFD is going through. So that's why Calamities ended up getting banned for that reason. It's a very good reason as well. So yeah, that's why it got banned. Now let's get into if it should come off the ban list. So, should True King of all Calamities get unbanned? No. Hell no. Like I just said, Chuche and stuff basically preventing any negation, that thing still exists. Chuche is still at 3. All the Virtual World is still a thing. Only thing that got banned out of that deck was Calamities, and that was it. If you bring back Calamities, Virtual World becomes a tier 1 deck again, because they can consistently pull out Calamities. So that's, no way this comes off the ban list unless you somehow consistently hit Virtual World and then ban Chuche. That's like the only reason, but that many amount of bans to Virtual World just so Calamities can come off the ban list, it's just better if Calamities stay on the ban list, because it's a ridiculous effect even outside of Virtual World. And Noble Knight started playing it during the format as well. Once they got hit on the December ban list, they started playing it just because they can, but Virtual World was just better at bringing it out. So hell no, Calamities should not come off the ban list. It needs to stay there for a very, very long time. It's a ridiculous effect, and without a doubt, I would love to see this on the ban list for the rest of time. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel. I do upload every single day except for Saturday and Sunday. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.